BL couples and their future marriages and how I think they actually are. Thai BL edition. These are just my opinions. So don't come at me. This is a marriage that's going to last forever, but they're going to have the absolute toughest time when they start hitting midlife crisis area, specifically this guy. The second he has to put Icy Hot on his hip for just like walking or existing, or like the first time he hurts his neck just because he slept on a pillow wrong, he's going to go absolutely off of the rails. And this one is going to have a hard time reeling that boy back in. He's going to be like with the young whippersnappers out there doing bodyguard stuff, doing fun training, partying till like 4 a.m. And then he's just going to have to like come up behind him like, baby cakes. We can't do this. Okay. We can't. We're working on a 401k. Like we have a show to catch up on. Like, you know, we need to go home. These guys are absolutely girl dads and you can't convince me otherwise. And they're going to be so absolutely funny because this one will be a father, but he will also be a child. And this one is going to have a very hard time chasing after him and their daughters. And I can't see it any other way. Their biggest fights are just going to be fake fights where he just like tries to get what he wants. And he's like, no, but yes. And then he's like, I knew you were going to say yes. And he's like, I know you knew that I was going to say yes. And there's like going to be a little kid in the background like, I knew too. Dad always gets you everything you want. They're going to be super happy. They're going to have the most equal of marriages in the best way possible. Their level of comfort and love are like the exact same as the couple next to them, and it just really works out. The biggest fight that they're ever going to have, though, is going to be because of our chaotic baby girls getting into shenanigans, because they are going to have kids. They aren't. Not for a while. If they do, they're not going to deal with it. But they are going to stress out about their kids because, and you cannot convince me otherwise, this one is going to freak out with his first baby and get caught in shenanigans with this one, just trying to do something simple, like go to the market to get groceries or like go get something for the nursery. And then they are going to have to sync up to go find their husbands. Okay. And I can even see later on when their kids are older, like, them plus their kids looking for these 2 lost baby girls. And it being their biggest fights in their marriages are going to be like, again, chaotic fun. They are going to be the moth to the flame and the fire extinguisher. Like, please stop doing things that are dangerous. And he's like, I'm not doing things that are dangerous. But then he's calling him and he's like, I did something dangerous and I need to not tell my husband because he told me not to do it and I did it. And then these guys, their biggest thing is he's like, I don't know if love is real. Like, would you love me if I were a worm? Because that's also them as a couple. And he's like, yes, worm, I love you. We've been married forever. We have multiple children. We are very happy. Calm down. You know, the domino effect where you push one domino over and then like the rest start falling. That's what this group is when it comes to marriages and also their like future family life. One couple gets married first and it just like domino effects to the rest of them. One couple starts a family and then they all start starting families. Like, these guys are going to start all of the major life events for the entire group first. And it's just going to like be a competition for the rest of them who goes next. This is also the only group that makes it okay to propose at other people's weddings and to like announce they're also starting a family at other people's baby showers. And instead of like anyone ever being mad at each other, it's more like they get home and they're like, hey, we need to start that. Yeah, they already started it. We need to beat them. Yeah, we need to beat the other couple. So just a lot of competitiveness in the best way possible for this group. The biggest fight they're ever going to have, again, comes down to them as a group as a whole, because he's going to be like, listen, you know, we have some land. Okay. We have a bunch of houses. We have like an apartment complex that's just for us. Why don't we all just live next to each other? Like right next to each other. And he's going to be like, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. And he's like, but I already did it. And they're there. All we have to do is move in. And he's like, dang it. But I mean, I guess this is fine. Also, this is the couple that very loudly says out loud, specifically him, that they're super happy. They're no longer in the dating circuit because it's a mess out there. But they'll like say that, especially him, super loud when anyone in the group starts fighting. Like, they're having like a normal couple fight and he's like, wow, Wow, I'm glad. I'm so happy in my marriage because ew to everyone else. Once again, they all have kids because one couple had them first, and they're like, well, we're not going to be the only couple in the group that doesn't have play dates with each other. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, even if it's like bringing along your exotic animals, like he's like, listen, play dates for everyone. So they're all really happy. They're together forever. Speaking of couples who talk to each other about like how happy they are that they're no longer in the dating circuit, they don't do it out loud. They wait till they get home, and in between the sheets, they're like, wow, it's awful out there. It's awful out there. I'm so glad we have what we have. But they do it at home, okay? Because they're polite like that. Because they are the moms of the group, okay? They are the emotional backbone and support of all of their friends' relationships, and it's tiring, okay? It's tiring. It's tiring, okay? Ugh. This is one of the happiest marriages you're ever going to see. And it's really going to make people jealous because not only do they get along with everyone and they meld into so many different social groups, they have their own little world when they're at like a party. Like you see them, they'll talk to you, but you just know that you're the third wheel constantly when you're just trying to exist next to them. They argue constantly, though. They love being annoying and pretending to be annoyed. That is their bread and butter. They are a bickering couple. When they aren't bickering, when they aren't teasing each other, when they aren't doing little jabs, they're making mad, passionate love behind closed doors because they're considerate kings. They have an annual puzzle night where they both say they don't want to do the puzzle, but they've been doing it anyway. And suddenly, like, you go into their house and they have framed puzzles on the wall. And then they start having like smaller ones when their kids start doing them too. And you wonder how you became this way. But for them, it's just like such a natural progression into they make everything normal loving. And I just love that about them. Their biggest fight's going to be when their kid brings home a bad grade and he's like, follow your heart. And he's like, but study a little bit. And he's like, but just follow your heart. Don't worry about it. And he's like, well, I mean, yeah, but like also, can you just actually like try to study just a little bit? But they're going to have a blast. Their biggest fights are going to come down to these two, like the people in We Are. They're going to start doing everything first, and it's going to really kind of like tick them off. Like they're going to be married, they're going to start a family, and they'll be like, we're not ready for this yet. We're not ready for kids yet. And then like the next week, they're going to be pregnant. The first time their kid gets into a race car, they're going to be really proud, but the entire pit's going to be terrified. They're going to be so petrified that these little babies are going to be hurt, and they're going to be super overprotective. This entire unit right here is just overprotective nonsense, and we actually love them for that. Their biggest thing in their marriage is going to be he is worried that he's not a good dad, and Charlie's going to be like, you are the best dad ever. Here, let me show you how much I think you are doing a good job. And then they're going to go into a different room and they're going to do things. Okay. They're going to go into that poor locker room that needs a lock the locker room. And they're going to do things. These guys, their constant fight is he just keeps calling him old. Like the whole group just jokes that he's old. And then their children also start like saying he's old, but he's going to take it because he is older, but he loves it. You know that one couple that you just don't understand why they're together, like from the outside, but you're like, surely behind closed doors, it makes sense. But like, there's a couple that even behind closed doors, it doesn't make sense. It's them, but like they're married forever. They are made up of the one who likes the kinkier things and the one that's like, yes, I love that too. This is wonderful for us. Their kids are going to be happy and healthy, but they are going to have a problem trying to figure out what the difference between stalking is and having a crush on someone is. Because lines were blurred here. Lines were divorced. It's awkward for everyone. Every single public space that they ever walk into, he is very loudly announcing that he's married to him. Like every single space, very loudly. Like he's like, please, you don't have to tell them at the grocery store that we're married and have kids. They know because you tell them all the time. And he's like, yeah, but do they know? Like he's even getting the kids in on it. Like tell everyone when I'm not with him that your father's married to me. They're very